It's a big, noisy universe of stocks out there. Welcome to Goodbye or Goodbye. Our goal, to help cut through that noise, to navigate the best moves for your portfolio. Today, we're taking a look at the AI data center value chain opportunities. I'm here now with Ivana Delevska, Spear Invest founder and CIO. Ivana, good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
So let's start with, what else, Ivana? We're going to start with Nvidia. Of course, big earnings this week, not just important for Nvidia, Ivana, but important for the market, for the index, kind of as also a gauge of that risk-on appetite. Let's go through the reasons, Ivana. You say Nvidia, even after a big move, it's still a buy. One, stronger Hopper cycle than expected. Explain that bullet to us.
So Josh, Hopper is their current chip that is in production, and what we're hearing from their customers is while some people expected to see air pocket in demand in between the past generation and the next generation, orders for Hopper are actually stronger. And several companies that reported said this publicly, like Microsoft and Snowflake, they were actually not able to deliver or outperform on their numbers because they didn't have enough of these Hopper chips to sell to their customers as a service.
So still strong demand for Hopper. The second bullet point is going to be an interesting one in the report and the call. Blackwell chip bright spot. Now here's why that's important, because we've had these reports of the shipment delays for Blackwell. So what do you see here?
That's right, Josh. So most analysts at this point took out Blackwell numbers from earnings estimates from this year. And we already know that there have been several deliveries of Blackwell to end customers. So we're more optimistic than the market on Blackwell here, specifically on the order delays or the system delays. Those relate just to Blackwell systems entirely composed of these Blackwell chips. But the Blackwell chip itself is already in production. And I think that's the big misunderstanding in the market right now.
And even if there were delays, are you in the camp as a bull, I'm guessing you are, that if there were delays, you would see a sale that's delayed but not ultimately destroyed?
That's right, Josh. So the key thing that we're really tracking here is end market demand. So whether these AI applications have uses, whether hyperscalers will keep growing their CapEx spending, those are really the most important things. If there are delays, they would likely be maybe a disappointment to the guide or pushback to the guide. So that would be usually a 1 quarter impact. But the key for long-term investors is whether there is end market demand for Nvidia's product, which we see right now as being very strong.
Well, let's get your final bullet point here. Final one is systems contributing to big order numbers.
So what this means basically, as we get into next year, we're seeing companies order big systems. So not only Blackwell chips to replace their current Hopper or previous architectures, they're building entire data centers, and some are even talking about 1 million GPU clusters. So that would be significantly higher than even the current market is something like $4 or $5 million unit GPUs. So there would be significant increase to the numbers for next year. Just these systems on their own could add over $100 billion to revenues.
So that's the bull case, Yolanda. But before everybody piles in, Ivana, walk us through some of the downside risks to NVIDIA that you see.
So, George, we spoke about it a little bit. Supply chain delays and them not delivering on time by like 3 to 6 months, that could really push back the numbers in the short term. That for us would be a buying opportunity. On the other hand, if we do see a slowdown in demand or period of digestion where companies that have already ordered these chips need to spend some time to actually put them to use, that would actually be a cyclical downturn. These are hardware stocks, so they could see down cycles as well.
Do you ever, Ivana, as a bull, do you ever get nervous when everyone seems to be on the same side of the ship? Like everybody loves NVIDIA. I mean, I think something like 90% or something like that of analysts tell their clients this was a buy. Does that get you nervous, or do you think sometimes the herd can be right?
Absolutely, Josh. We are very nervous all the time, and this is why we do deep dive.
That's why you're a good investor. You're saying
exactly.
Nervous.
This is why we do deep dive work and really keep doing these channel checks, keep talking to customers, understanding what their needs are, what are going to be the use cases, and that's kind of how we build conviction around earnings and long-term thesis.
All right, so you like NVIDIA. Let's turn to one you're not so crazy about, and this one would be Alphabet, okay? Let's look at the reasons here. A few different reasons you would say not so bullish. One, search business under attack. Explain that one, Ivana.
So George, as you see here, AI is one of the bigger themes for the next technology cycle, and it's unclear how well Alphabet is positioned here. Their search business currently is under attack with introduction of ChatGPT, Perplexity
OpenAI,
AI.
right, yep.
Exactly. There are many products that are coming to market that could actually change the way we search. So that could be pretty transformational for the company. So they're at a point where now they need to either adapt and invest a lot of dollars into this to just keep up with their players and defend their business. So this is why on the earnings call, a lot of investors were asking, well, where is the return from the capex that you're spending? And really the answer is they're just using that money to defend their business. So you're not really going to see incremental return on that part of the business.
And I guess that leads to this second bullet, reasons for skepticism. You have AI competition just generally heating up in the space.
That's right. So I think we're going to see a lot of new products, a lot of new introduction that are going to be really, really disruptive to their business.
And then Ivana, I mean, listen, the people working at this company, you got some of the smartest engineers on the planet. You got really deep pockets. They're aware of these trends and putting money and work and time and effort into it. But you guys, I believe you don't think you're going to catch up in that competition and stay ahead.
Well, George, there are two aspects to this. Yeah. So I think Alphabet was actually very early on to develop their they call them TPUs, but they're very similar to GPUs that can run AI processes. The issue is that it is basically cannibalizing their own business, right? So it's not that they're not smart, it's just that the products don't necessarily add value on top of their business where they already had a monopoly position. The second point is that there are a lot of avenues that the company can go into to diversify and expand and leverage the technology that they have. So this is why they've started to go into like acquisitions like Sentinel-1. There were some rumors that they were looking at it. Wiz, there were some rumors that they were looking at it. HubSpot is another one. So this would all be very interesting angles. However, there is a lot of antitrust pushback, and it's not clear if they're going to be able to continue in this avenue.
That was the third point you made, because it's not just competition, but you're also limitations due to antitrust concerns is a third reason you'd steer clear.
That's right, George. So antitrust, there is as a concern to their existing business and then also affecting their expansion plans. So those would be the two areas where antitrust would come into play.
Let's go over where you could be wrong, Ivana. What are the upside risks you think viewers need to think about with this name?
So the stock is not very expensive here, and they do have a lot of cash flow, so there is a lot of optionality. If they were to get their act together and somehow pass through these antitrust concerns and get some of these deals in cybersecurity or CRM systems and really expand, that could be a catalyst for the stock to go higher, as well as even for their own business. It's still a lot of uncertainty. They could still come out on top and beat competition like ChatGPT and OpenAI and Perplexity.
One point is, we have some bulls come on the show sometimes, Ivana, they'll talk about this name, and you'll ask them why. And one reason is they believe just simply their bread and butter core search, their betting is going to continue to prove strong. Also, though, they mentioned Google Cloud, and they think, listen, you could see further acceleration there in the future on AI. How do you think about that point?
Well, Google Cloud is probably one of the more interesting parts of their business. However, they're not the leading player here. So they're a distant number 3 behind Azure and AWS. So this business is not as profitable for them as it is for the competition because they were late to the party, if you will. So it is going to also depend on how they execute here and how they grow that part of the business.